that thing on?
It is on.
Nice. So we're doing a quick evaluation of the, let's just call it the Fisher Chevelle. And this is a 69 number matching, all original owner car. Son of actually the person who purchased it. And he asked me to evaluate it and try to figure out what sort of upgrades we can do to it without tearing the thing up. This thing is a cream puff. I think a throttle return spring seems to be hanging up a little bit, but it's all here. It has a fresh 396 in it that was recently broke in over at Westtech Dyno. The owner and his son built the motor and then took it over to, hold on, Ferrari. And took it over to Westtech and have it broke in on the dyno. Then he took it back and put it in. Then he brought it to me to button up some stuff that didn't quite line up. And he wants to do a couple things to it to make it a little bit more drivable. So, yeah, that's cruise control. That's what they have cruise control. So I'm going to look into that throttle response right there. And it rides like stock because this car is 100% stock. He pointed out to me in the trunk are all the hoses and belts that have ever been on the car because they change them whether they need them changed or not. But he wouldn't throw anything away. He's got everything on this car that has ever been on the car. So I think we're going to upgrade the suspension. He had mentioned he wants a little more brake, but he doesn't want to go too crazy with the rim size. So maybe upgrade the rims to a 15, but make them look stock, and then put the biggest brakes I believe Willwood makes will fit under a 15, and maybe some tubular control arms to correct the geometry of the front suspension, give it a little more caster, make it a little bit more of a driver. It's original interior. I asked him, wow, this dash pad fits so nice, where did you get it? And he looked at me and with a super straight face said, General Motors in 1969. So nothing in the car has been changed. Oh, there's a bump coming up. Hold on. Okay, there it was. Did you feel it?
Barely.
Yeah, me neither. You know, on a side note, take customers' cars for drives. I like to put a little bit of time into them and simulate, you know, real world driving conditions. I say that pretty frequently. So you can't just drive it around and hope that it's not going to overheat. You have to drive it, put some time into it, put some heat into it, cruise it around. I am going to do a little grub hubbing today. Somebody called and said they would like a salad from Habit. So we're going to roll through the Habit right now, grab a salad and then deliver it. So this test drive won't be going to waste. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Food delivery and...
Absolutely. Side note, we're almost out of gas. So let's go over and get some gas. What are you doing, dude? We're trying to make a video here.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh my God. Are you ready? Are you ready, dude?
Almost.
Taking messages right now. All right, guys, so we just got back from lunch. And by me, I mean me and Mark. John wasn't here.
John doesn't eat.
John doesn't eat. As you can tell, Sticks does not eat. He's up to like 60 pounds right now. So I figured we would take a moment and give you guys a quick walk around of this car before we tear it down. Actually, just pull off the wheels and see what stock unmolested suspension looks like. Right. Oh, these cute little wheels. Look at that. That is like factory. Look at the pretty new setup here. I think he just recently replaced the brake pads. I asked him specifically, while we have it apart, do you want to clean up the frame? Or do you, oh, no, absolutely not. No need to. Don't need to change anything. It's original. We're just going to do tubular control arms, uppers and lowers, coilover conversion, and change the brake lines, obviously. Bigger brakes. And He is upgrading the wheels to a 15, giving him some different selections on tire compounds and tire sizes. Still trying to keep that original look. And it should be pretty cool. But there is some, man, this thing's used. I like it. Used a little. It actually looks like, I'm looking at this stuff right here, and that looks like maybe someone did some jumping. Tire contacted right here.
Yep.
Actually melted plastic a little bit, and when it did that, it then stretched all this and cracked stuff up.
Yeah.
Good for him. Don't slow down for nothing. Just go ahead and hit that jump.
Oh, this is paint peeling off.
Yeah.
Undercoating.
Yes, sir. You know what he was playing right there? Dukes the Hazzard. I asked him about fixing the paint. He chose not to. He likes the paint. Every scratch has a story, has a memory. Good for him. I did ask him about the rust. He said, yes, we can probably fix that. So if that's the case, I'm probably going to hit up my buddy Omar. Does a little side work, paint body. And he's going to, well, I'll cut this out well, the new piece, and I'll have him blend it. Underneath here, it is an original 4-speed. Bell housing obviously has been cleaned and painted and replaced. He did tell me when he was putting the transmission back in, he's having problems fighting the shifter. And the problem was, this is interesting, this lever right here goes to the shift bowl on the steering column, where your shifter, normal shifter would be. The cool thing about that is it attaches to the reverse lever on the manual transmission. You put the transmission into reverse, then you turn off the ignition key, it then locks the steering column and the shifter. Car cannot be steered. Is that a word? Steered?
Yes.
Cannot be steered. It cannot be steered or towed because it's locked in reverse. You can wheel lift it, you can grab it from the back,
right.
You can break the steering column, but it's a great theft deterrent.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But you put it all back together and the shifter, something didn't work. So I'll be taking that apart and recalibrating it. It feels like it's kind of stiff. I did grab a hold of the shift bowl and you can move it freely from inside the car. And somebody was like, hey, you're driving down the street with your reverse lights on, because the reverse light sender is on the is not on the transmission, it's on the steering column, and the shift lever moves the steering column to turn on the reverse lights.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, look, this thing moves. And then everybody's like, you're in reverse and you're revving the engine. What's going to happen? All right, so that's all new. Motor's completely rebuilt and fresh. This thing is completely, oh, here's something. This is for the e-brake. That was unhooked. That one's still good. Looks like some Flowmasters on here. Yes, Flowmaster 2-chamber, 1, 2. U-joints look new. So what we're going to replace on this are lower arms. Look, see better over here. The lower arms. Do a coilover conversion, I believe, for the rear. If not a coilover conversion, a lower spring with an adjustable shock. And so lower arms will be replaced, and the upper arms up here. Can you see this?
Yes.
Will be getting replaced with an adjustable one, so we can change pinion angle if needed. Because when you change the ride height, in some instances, you want to pay a little attention to the pinion angle. Also in the front, we'll be doing lower control arms tubular. The ball joints have been relocated on, basically the length of the front portion of the control arm and the rear portion of the control arm or the upper arm. Something's altered so that the caster is corrected on these cars. It makes them drive a little bit better. And this very, very collectible, rare, tiny little anemic sway bar will go hung on a wall somewhere, because we're going to put in a decent sized sway bar. And then whether he wants to or not, I'm going to probably wipe everything down under here and touch some stuff up without doing a restoration. We've got to clean it up a little bit and fix the power steering wheel. I see something weird in there. All right, let's get out to Signal Hill to Aldan American, get a little tour of that spot. You guys check this stuff out, and we're gonna check out that cool stuff and bring it back here. See you soon. Okay, heavy shock box from Aldan American. This is all for the 69 Chevelle. the blue one. We're gonna have a 12 pack of Chevelles here pretty soon. They got us some sway bars from our friends over at POL. Front and rear sway bars. Also, some tubular control arms and a shirt. And it's XX, which is my size. Perfect. They have some weight to them for sure.
Look at the cloud above you.
What? Something on fire? I don't know what happened there, but just saying. There's a defective something in the air. I'm really good at opening boxes, you can tell. What's that light on? There's so much smoke in here, the light came on?
I don't know.
That's weird. Let me see.
Yeah.
Why is this light on? Doesn't make any sense. What's up with all the smoke? Fire! All right. Gotta be smarter than a metal spring.
Yeah.
That's where I had a problem. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's a good looking shock right there. He asked me if I wanted silver or black anodized. I opted for black anodized. Since we're not going racing. Got that handled. So these are the honeycomb style springs, which basically replace your stock springs and put the shock in the middle, and then allow you to have that adjustability and very easy to install. Good looking right there. All right, we're gonna go on in here. What?
Cool.
Yeah. That is a rear spring pre-assembled. Lucky guy. With hardware. Upper shock mounts. Now these are pretty cool. These bolt to the lower arms and then convert it into a coilover rear suspension without doing any modifications to the car.
It's not cutting up the car. No welding anything in there. It's definitely cool. Stock e-brake, I believe. More hardware. Nice. So this is everything that is required to do a coilover conversion to a 69 Chevelle. So you have the adjustability of ride height with the adjustable spring coilover and shock adjustability. If you want to be a little bit firmer is the word, not rougher, and help with performance and driving. So Aldan American has that handle. They went one step further, which is exactly where we wanted to go, one step further, and supplied us with a set of POL tubular upper and lower control arms for the front. I'm going to dig up some arms for the rear, which the bottoms are stock length, but I want to try to get some with the urethane or firmer bushing in there, and then an adjustable upper arm so I can change pinion angle. If you lift and lower, the pinion angle changes. But this is more than enough to get this thing on the road. Let's take a look at these springs now, or the tubular control arm. Wait for it. Oh, here's a great tip for you. When they strap these and glue them, they never get that corner on the inside of all these. So flip it over. Flip it over. Flip it over. And flip it over.
Easy.
Not as fun as shanking it and sawing it, but some nice packaging going on here. Hold please. Look at that. Tubular upper control arm with bump stops and ball joints. Delron bushings?
I think so, yeah. Yep.
Also corrected caster. Well. Here. If only we had some lowers. But wait, there's more. That. Set up for sway bar. These are cool because they stop it from making that rattly noise that nobody likes.
Mm-hmm.
right, so now all I need to do is muster up the motivation and energy to blow this thing apart. And the self-control to not want to start sandblasting and scraping off rust and painting, because the customer wants it to be original with some bolt-on aftermarket components. So yeah, I'll be carefully disassembling and putting the crust on a pallet wrapped in plastic to send home with him. A couple of things I haven't gotten yet are new tie rods, inners and outers. I'm gonna get some of those. We do have the sway bar. I'll get new bushings for right here on both sides. It already looks like it has a new idler arm and steering gearbox and pavement arm are new. So maybe just to feel a little bit better, since we're putting new components in here, I'll pull the steering link down, clean all that, paint it, replace the inners and outers, and then be wrapped up in the front. Actually, no, right now, before I even tear this down, I did the measurements and got specs off of the rear housing, because Willwood is supplying us with oversized brakes and rims. So before I start tearing into this, I'm gonna wait till the brakes are here just to make sure I have everything. So it's gonna seem like mere seconds, but I'll be right back. Okay, it's been a couple days. Actually, I think it's been a couple weeks. I was waiting for some parts, and then we had to shoot a show over here with the Roadkill crew, the Holiday Hoopty Challenge. But now that's all done. I got the 69 Chevelle back in, the Fisher Chevelle, and I've gotten some progress on that. I thought I would share it with you guys. These are the Wellwood brakes. One of the concerns with the customer was he didn't want to run a larger tire. This thing came factory. Oh, as you recall, the 69 is all original owner sort of a setup. But his concern was it has 14-inch rims on it. He wanted more brake. We were able to find a set of 15-inch rims. Where are they? There they are right there. They look just like stock. And some BFGs. So it looks the same, but they're 15, and Wellwood makes a kit, 4-piston in the rear, and all fits inside a 15-inch rim, which is kind of the standard. Also, we got a hold of POL and Aldan American. Aldan American did some blacked out shocks because they're not trying to get flashy, just trying to make it cool. I believe these mounts right here are from POL. And there's no modification to the car at all. That's one of the things the customer wants to keep the car original. So this is all bolt-in, urethane bushings, 4-piston calipers. Got to get the right pads for the rear. There were no pads. E-brake upgrade. This is from Willwood. These are the POL tubular control arms. And 4-piston calipers in the front. Curved vane slotted and drilled rotors. Once again, no modifications, but sway bar a little bit larger than stock. Everything is looking pretty cool. We're gonna add a couple bump stops, I think, and set the ride height at something a little more acceptable. It sits a little low right now. Customer stopped by to drop off the rims, and he's like, "Oh, it looks a little low." But the trick to doing that is you need to put it together, set it where you think it's gonna be okay, drive it around a little bit, put some heat into the spring, let it compress, and recoil a few times, and then pull it back in and check it for level. Best way to check it for level would be measured from the lowest part of the rim, not the tire, to the wheel well, all the way around. And I think generally the driver's side is about 1/4 of an inch higher than the passenger side, because there is always a driver in it. Well, you should hope there's always a driver in it when you're driving. Other than that is about it. So, going to be buttoning up a couple things here. Gonna fit the brake pads and run around. I'm gonna torque everything, put a little mark with a Sharpie on all the nuts and bolts just to make sure they're all tight. And then this will be getting the brakes bled and will become a driver. The Fisher Chevelle will be back on the road. All right, you guys, so that's it for this video. Appreciate all your support. Thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to leave comments, questions. Don't forget to subscribe and follow and share. If you want to follow me, I am Mobile Tech Lucky on Instagram
or Lucky's Garage on Instagram. And the guy who helped me do all this is John McGann on Instagram. Shout him a holla. Thanks a lot, you guys. Stay safe. See you later.